Hi guys, my name is Givmo Magujo, and today I want to show you how you can create an income model from scratch. So without wasting time, let's dive right into it. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create an income model like this. And as you can see here, we've got 3 years of historical data and we've got 5 years of forecast data. And first of all, we are going to work with historical data so that we can be able to project the future operating performance of this company, right? So we are also going to use the modeling data here, as you can see on this tab. This is the modeling data that I've put together, and I'll also leave this Excel workbook in the description below so that you can practice and follow along as I explain and go along the tutorial, right? So now it's time to get to work. So click on this plus icon here to create a new sheet. So I'll rename this. So to rename this, you have to right click and then select rename here, and let's rename this to income statement, right? And then let's drag this, and so that it's the first tab in our Excel workbook, right? So now that we've done this, let's highlight the entire sheet here. So to do that, we are going to, on our keyboard, we are going to press Ctrl A to copy, to highlight in fact the entire sheet. So once we have highlighted the entire sheet, on our keyboard we are going to press Ctrl exclamation mark to access the property panel. And now let's go to font, to the font section. Here we are going to choose our font. We are going to select this font, Arial Narrow, and then we are going to leave the font style as regular and the font size at 11, and then press enter on your keyboard, just like that. So now that's great. So now we are good to go, right? So let's navigate to the modeling data tab. So to navigate to the modeling data tab, what we are going to do is we are going to use the keyboard shortcuts to do that. So as you can see, I can easily select it using my mouse, but I just don't want to do that. Okay, so to use the keyboard shortcut to navigate to modeling data, we're going to say press Control or hold down Control on your keyboard and then hit page down, right? And then you get to the income statement modeling tab. To get to modeling data tab, hold down Control and hit page down, just like that, and then you can get to the modeling data. Right, now we are in the modeling data tab. We need to copy this data and paste it in the income statement tab. So we are going to make use of our arrows, or our keyboard arrows, the upward arrow, the downward arrow, the right arrow, and the left arrow. Okay, but to do that, let's use our upward arrow there. Right, once we get to that A1 cell, then hold down Shift on your keyboard and press the downward arrow, just like so, until you get to net income. And then you can also, whilst you are holding down Shift, you can hold down Control and then press your right arrow, just like so, to highlight everything. And once you have highlighted everything, then you can say hold down Control and then press C on your keyboard, right? So now the operation has failed to work. Let's repeat it again. So okay, let's repeat this again. So to do that, we are going to hold down Shift on our keyboard, use the downward arrow to select this column up to net income and hold down control whilst you are holding down shift and press the right arrow just like that. And then whilst we have highlighted everything, then press control plus C on your keyboard, and then that will copy this data. So to go back to the income statement tab, we are going to use the keyboard shortcut. We are going to say control. You are going to hold down control and then hit page up on your keyboard. Then we get to the income statement modeling tab, and to get to income statement tab, we are also going to hold down control and then hit page up just like that. And now, as you can see, we are in the income statement tab. Now all we need to do right now is to hit Control V on our keyboard to paste. Right, so I see nothing is pasting. Let's go back to the modeling data tab and see what's happening there. So we are going to use our keyboard shortcut again. So control page down just like that, and let's hit Control C just like that, and then let's go back page up just like so, and then let's hit Control V just like that to paste. Okay, so let's expand our columns there. Right, this is looking great so far, and we just need to now that we have copied our data, we just want to start customizing the first. We just want to start working with the first row here. So we want to add, remember these are 3 years of historical data, but at the same time we also want to forecast this historical data for the next 5 years to see the future operating performance of this company. So to do that, we will have to forecast the operating performance from 2022 to 2026. That is 5 years. So our 2026 or our 5-year will be in K1, right? So that's column K1. Column yes. So to do that, we have to input 2022 in column G. So to do that, we are going to press plus on our keyboard in G1, in cell G1, and then we use the left arrow to highlight F1, that is 2021, and then on our keyboard again we are going to press +1 just like that, and then we press enter on our keyboard, and that would give us 2022. And as you can see, this is a formula. So whilst we are in G1, in cell G1, we can hold down shift and then use our right arrow to highlight this row up until column K, and then we press Control R on our keyboard to copy the formula to the right. Okay, so as you can see, this is fantastic, just like that. Right, so what we need to do next is we want to add the background to this row. Right, so from column A to from cell A1 to cell K1. So to do that, hold down whilst you are in A1, in cell A1, hold down shift and use your right arrow to highlight up until K1, that is 2026, and then on your keyboard press Alt H to access the theme colors that we are going to select for our background color. So on your keyboard, use your upward arrow to go up to this theme color so that you can choose your preferred color, and I'm going to choose this one. So I'll hit enter on my keyboard. Now whilst this is still highlighted, as you can see, we are unable to see the text. All right, so to do that, we are going to change the font color. So to change the font color on our keyboard, we are going to use this shortcut. We are going to press Alt HFC to change the font color, and then we use our upward arrow again to select the white color, and then we press enter, just like that. Right, so as you can see now, our text is visible. But what we want to do right now, it's not clear that from 2019 to 2021 this is historical data. So we just want to add that this is historical data, and from 2022 to 2026 we just want to add that this is forecast data. So we are going to use H for historical data, we are going to use F for forecast, or E for estimates. Okay, so to do that, we are going to we have to navigate to cell D1, and then hold down shift on your keyboard, and then use your right arrow and highlight up until 2021. And then once you do that, then we need to access the format panel. So to do that, we are going to hold down Control on our keyboard whilst we are highlighting cell D1 and up to cell F1, and then we hold down Control on our keyboard, and then we press exclamation mark to access the format panel, and then we have to navigate to the number tab, right? And here we are going to select custom, and here we are going to choose a regular number, which is 0. And once we choose a regular number, we can add a suffix that we want. So we can add a suffix as a string. So we are going to say in quotes, we are going to input A or H in double quotes. So we are going to press we are going to enter H there, and then we close the quotes there, and then we hit enter on our keyboard. And as you can see, Excel will treat this as a number, though it's showing 2019 H, which means this is historical data. And then we do the same from 2022 to 2016 to 2026. So we are going to use the symbol F, that is to say forecast. Okay, so to do that, we are going to do the same. Once we have highlighted the cell G1 up to cell K1, we are going to hold down Control on our keyboard and then hit exclamation mark, and we repeat what we have done, and then we choose 0 there, and we open quotes, and then we put F for forecast, capital letter, and then we press enter, just like that. So as you can see now, it's looking great. So now if someone, let's say we've emailed someone this data, they will not get confused, because they will know that 2019 up to 2022 this is historical data, and from 2022 to 2026 this is forecast data. Right, so we need to bold these years, so from cell D1 up to K1. So hold down shift on your keyboard and use your right arrow up until 2026, and then on your keyboard press Control plus B, just like that. So as you can see, we have managed to bold our text there. So now this is looking great. So it's time to work on our historical data, to work on our model, our income model. So to do that, we are going to first of all delete all the formulas there. Like here we have got gross profit. It's a formula. We can get gross profit by saying revenue minus cost of sales. So we are going to delete all those ones. So we are going to delete these numbers there. So hold down shift, highlight up until from cell D1 up to F1, and then on your keyboard just hit delete, and do the same for EBITDA, that is earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation and amortization. And then like so, hold down shift and then hit delete, hold down shift, right arrow, delete, just like that. So this is cool. Now let's start to work on this. Okay, So what we want to do, we want to add a row between revenue and cost of sales, where we are going to calculate the year-on-year revenue growth rate. Okay, so to do that, on your keyboard, press Alt H I and then choose R to insert a row. So we are going to write year-on-year revenue, year-on-year revenue growth. So year-on-year revenue growth, and this will be as a percentage, right? Like so. And we are also going to add okay, so let's change here. I can see, right, revenue. So perfect. So let's add also a line there between cost of sales and gross profit. So Alt H I, and then here we are going to say cost of sales as a percentage of revenue. So cost of sales is percentage of revenue, just like that. And here we are also going to add a row there between gross profit and operating expenses. So we're going to say Alt HIR, and then we say gross profit margin, right? Just like that. And then we want to italize this. So to italize on your, just go to the row that you want to italize, and then here we want to hold down shift here and highlight up until 2026, just like that. And then on your keyboard to italize, press Ctrl I, and then you will be able to italize this. So we are also going to do the same here, highlight up until 2026, and then hit Ctrl I, just like that. Okay, and we're also going to do the same for gross profit margin. Hold down shift, use your right arrow to highlight up until 2026, and then press Ctrl I, just like that. And then here we have to add a row between operating expenses and EBITDA. So to do that, we are going to say Alt HI, and then here we are going to say selling, admin and general expenses is a percentage of revenue, right? And then we hold down shift, highlight up until 2026, and then press Ctrl I to italize. And then we are going to add a line between EBITDA and depreciation and amortization. And then we are going to say Alt HI, and here we are going to add EBITDA margin. Okay, so EBITDA margin, and this will be so we do the same. We hold down shift and highlight up until the end. Okay, so that is press Ctrl I, and let's give some space there. Perfect. And let's add another line there, HI, and okay, so we are going to undo, we are going to press Ctrl Z on our keyboard, because depreciation we are not going to do, we are going to input it manually. And then we have to add a line between EBIT and interest expense, that is earnings before interest and taxes. So Alt HI, then we're gonna say EBIT margin, just like that, right? And then here we've got earnings before taxes. So we are going to say Alt HI, and then we say we're going to say a bit margin, just like that. And then we hold down shift and highlight up until 20, Control Z, press Control I, and then here we need a line, we need a row for taxes. So Alt HI. Okay, so let's just come here and say Alt HIR, and then we say taxes, just like that. So taxes in percentages, right? Perfect. And then we do the same, hold down shift, press your right arrow to highlight up until 2026, and then hit Control I to italize. Perfect. So now our model is looking so great, right? It's looking great. Okay, right. So it is best practice in financial modeling that all hard-coded numbers should be in blue, right? Only formulas should be in black. So that's what we are going to do right now. We are going to highlight all hard-coded numbers to highlight them in blue, right? Perfect. So let's do that. So let's first of all highlight the let's highlight these figures, the revenue figures from 2019 to 2021. So hold down shift, press your right arrow 2 times, 1, 2, and then on your keyboard to change the font color, press Alt H FC, and then use your upward arrow to select this color, the blue color there, which is perfect. You can choose any color you want, right? So now I just want to show you another I just want to show you how to use paste special to apply this blue color to these other figures there, okay? Because it's time consuming that every time you come to each and every row, and then you repeat Alt HFC, you see it's time consuming. So we are going to say here, we are going to say we are going to copy this first revenue figure there in 2019. So to do that, we are going to hold down Control plus C to copy, and then we highlight these figures, the cost of sale figures from 2019 to 2020 to 2021, and then on our keyboard, to apply that blue color there, we are going to say Alt H V S T, that is paste special, right? As long as this is still rotating there on the number that we have copied, we can just highlight all these figures and then press F4 to apply the bluish color there. So hold down shift, use the right arrow, and then press F4 to apply the same formatting. So F4 just like that, and then F4 just like that. Okay, so now that we are done, we can hit escape to stop that rotating cell. Right, so now it's looking great. It's time to start working. Okay, so to do that, we are going to first calculate the gross profit figures for 2019 to 2021, right? So gross profit is revenue minus cost of sales, right? So we are going to say equals to start the format function, the formula function, and then we use our upward arrow to select the revenue figure for 2019, and then we say minus. We use the upward arrow to select the cost of sales figure, and then we hit enter, and then we get this figure, and then we hold down shift on our keyboard because we want to copy this formula to the right. So we use our right arrow, we press it 2 times up until 2021, and then once we have highlighted these cells, then we can press Ctrl R on our keyboard to copy the formula to the right, just like that. Right, and then we want to calculate EBITDA, that is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. So we are also going to do the same. We are going to press equal sign to start the formula function, and now we have to calculate EBITDA. So EBITDA is calculated as gross profit minus operating expenses, and mostly the operating expenses would be selling, admin, and general expenses, right? So we are going to select the gross profit figure and then minus the operating expense figure, and then we get the EBITDA. So we hold down shift, we use our right arrow to highlight up until 2021, and we press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. And we come here again, we calculate the EBIT figures, that is earnings before interest and taxes, and then we say equals, we select the EBITDA figure minus the depreciation and amortization. We hit enter, and then we hold down shift, we highlight up until 2021, we press Ctrl R on our keyboard to copy the formula to the right. And then we calculate the EBIT figures, we say equals, and then we say we select EBIT figure minus interest expense, and then we hold on shift and highlight, and then we press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. And then we calculate the net income, and to do that we are going to select the EBIT figure minus the taxes, right? And then we hold down shift, use the right arrow, and then we press Ctrl R, just like that. Cool. Now we want to, you see when I scroll down here, I can't see which year it is, so I have to freeze the top panel there, the top row. So to do that, I'm going to press Alt W on my keyboard and then F, and then I can hit enter, that is freeze panels, right? So such that if I'm scrolling down, I can see the years are visible, so I don't get confused. Perfect. Now it's time to now that we're done with these figures, we want to calculate the percentage changes. We want to trace these we just want to trace the trends, right, for revenue, cost of sales, EBITDA, gross profit, so that we'll be able to forecast our income statement going forward. So to do that, we have to calculate the year-on-year revenue growth. We use this formula that says the ending revenue figure minus the beginning revenue figure divided by the beginning revenue figure, or we say the ending revenue figure divided by the beginning revenue figure minus 1. So that's the one that we are going to use here. So we're going to say equals, and then we select the revenue for 2020 divided by revenue for 2019, then minus 1. Perfect. And that way we can and then we can we need to copy this formula to the right to 2021. Okay, so we hold down shift and then press the right arrow once, and then we press Ctrl R to copy here, right, which is fantastic. Now we need to add percentages, right? So to add percentages, we're going to hold down shift, a right arrow to highlight these percentage changes, revenue growth rates from 2020 to 2021, and then on our keyboard to add percentages, we're going to press Alt HP, and we need to add 2 decimal places to these percentages. So to do that, whilst they are still highlighted, we press Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. Let's say we want to add 3 decimal places, we can add another 0 there. So to do that, Alt H0, just like that. But let's say we want to delete the other, we only want 2 decimal places. So to delete the other decimal place, we are going to say Alt H9 on our keyboard, just like that. Okay, perfect. Now we want to calculate cost of sales as a percentage of revenue. So this is easy. All we need to do right here is equals, we select the cost of sales figure for 2019 and we divide it with the revenue figure for 2019, and then we hold down shift, we press we highlight up until 2021 using our right arrow, and then we press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. And now we want to change these to percentages. So it's easy, I've taught you how to do it. So I'm gonna do it fast. Alt HP, we're gonna add 2 decimal places, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. Okay, so let's calculate the gross profit margin, and then we are going to say equals, we take the gross profit figure, we divide it by the revenue figure for 2019, just like that. And then we hold down shift, we copy, we highlight up to cell F1 and F8, and then we press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. We add percentages, Alt HP, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. And then we calculate the percentage of operating expenses against revenue. So we're going to say equals, then we select the operating expense figure divided by the revenue figure, just like that. We highlight up until 2021, we press Ctrl R, and we change these to percentages, Alt HP, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. Then we do the same here for EBITDA, equals, we take the EBITDA figure divided by the revenue, just like that. We highlight, we copy to the right, Alt HP, Alt H0, Alt H0. So I'm gonna do it a bit fast here, because you know these formulas, you know these shortcuts, right? So EBIT margin, we're gonna say equals, take the EBIT figure divided by revenue, just like this, and then hold down shift, press your right arrow 2 times, and then Ctrl R, and Alt HP to add 2 percentages, Alt H0 to add decimal place. And then we're gonna do this for EBIT, Alt, that is, we select this, divided by revenue here, and then we hold down shift, we copy this to the right, Alt H P, Alt H0, Alt H0, right? And then we want to calculate the taxes. So taxes, we are going to say income tax expense divided by EBIT. That's how we get the tax rate. So, and then we copy it to the right. So we change this to percentages. So you say Alt HP, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. Perfect. Now we are done working with our historical data. So we want to project the income statement, right? And this is great. So we are going to build our projections from this historical data. So now we want to project revenue, right, from 2022 to 2026. So projecting revenue is not an easy task. I recommend that you do a thorough research. You dig deep into the company's financial statements, read on investor reports, investor presentations, attend meetings, company meetings, because sometimes management can, give clues or insights about the future growth of revenue or performance. You get to learn of the company's new products, their sales strategy, revenue model. You see, all those things, they build up to help you to project revenue. Okay, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to just estimate. Okay, so we are going to use two rules here. So we are going to, the first one is we can take the highest of the highest percentage of the 3 years, or we can take the percentage of the last year. Okay, we can use it. So here we are going to choose the 6.02%. so we are going to say our revenue is going to grow by 6.2 for 5 years. Okay, so we are going to do this. We are going to say 6 okay, so let me do this. 6.02 okay percent. So we can add a percent sign there. Okay, let's just do this. Let's delete this. Let's say 0.602, right? And then let's do this. Alt HP, Alt H0. Okay, so this is let's turn this into, we want to turn this 6.02 something into a percentage, right? So to do that, let's just do this. Okay, so we are saying our revenue has to grow by 6.02%, right? So what is 6.02%? So to do this, what we are going to do is we are going to say 0. No, here we don't want that. So okay, so we are going to say 0.02%, just like that, and then we add a decimal place there. Okay, and then since this is a hard-coded number, we are going to change it to blue. But for now, let's just hold down Shift, highlight up until 2026, and then press Ctrl R to copy this. Okay, then we are going to change this to blue. And to change this to blue, I've shown you a simple way to add for adding the formatting, right? So we are going to apply you're going to use special pasting, right? So to do that, we are going to say Ctrl C, and then we highlight this up until 2026, and then we press Alt HVST to apply the right. So as you can see, this is correct. Then we change this to percentages. So to do that, we're going to say Alt HP, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. Okay, which is fantastic. And then here we are going to estimate that our cost of sales are going to grow by 75.49. Why? We are saying cost of sales are direct. These are costs which are directly associated with the attainment or the realization of revenue, right? So there is a direct relationship here. So as revenue increases, the logic is cost of sales also will increase, right? But there are exceptions, but for now, let's assume just like that. So here we are going to say here we are going to estimate that our cost of sales are going to increase by 75.49%. So we're going to say 0.7549, right? Just like that, and then we highlight up until 2026, and then we say Alt HP, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that, and then we press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. Right, so this is great, this is fantastic. So these are hard-coded figures. We have to change them to blue. Okay, so we are going to use the same process. We are going to use the special pasting here. So to do that, we're going to copy this, and then because we want to apply this formatting, the blue formatting here into these percentages as well. So to do that, you're going to hold down Shift, press your right arrow, and then press Alt H V S T to apply the same formatting, just like that, and then we press Escape to cancel. Right, so let's estimate our gross profit margin. So gross profit margin, we have said that we can take the highest of the three, or we can but now, as you can see here, our gross profit was high in 2019 and it declined in 2020, and here it declined in 2021. So we are going to just use 24.51. So we are going to say 0.2151. That's what we want here. So our gross profit is going to increase by that. So we are going to say we are going to copy this here. We are going to highlight, hold down Shift and press your right arrow, and then press Ctrl R. And whilst this is highlighted, press Alt HP to change this to percentages, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. And then let's copy the formatting here, and then let's come here and highlight again. So to do that, we are going to say Alt H V S T, press enter, and then escape, just like that. Okay, and then here we are going to project that our sales admin and general expense are going to grow by 17.37. right? Remember, these are just estimates, just for the purpose of this tutorial. 17.3, so you're going to say 0.1737, just like that. And then what we are going to do is we are going to highlight again, and then press Ctrl R, change this to percentages, give them some 2 decimal places, just like that. And then we copy the formatting here, the blue color, and then we do the same thing that we've done, apply the special pasting, and then we say special paste, Alt H V S T, perfect, and then great. Right, so we say the EBITDA margin is going to grow by 7.14. So we are going to say 0.0714, right, just like that. And let's just copy and then apply this to the right, and then Alt HP, just like that. Okay, let's copy the formatting here. So here we highlight, and then Alt H V S T, special format, and then escape here. Okay, and then EBIT margin, we estimate that it's going to grow by 5.36. So we're gonna say 0.0536, right? We highlight and press Ctrl R to copy to the right, Alt HP to change this to percentages, just like that. Okay, we copy the formatting here. So then we come here, we hold down Shift, and then we press Alt HVST to apply the color there and the formatting, right? So we come back here again on EBIT margin. So we say our EBIT margin is going to our EBIT margin is going to grow by 4.96. so we're gonna say 4 point, so it's 0.096 0.0496, right? And then control R, then Alt HP, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. And then we copy the formatting here, and we come here, we highlight this, we say Alt HVST, just like that. Okay, cool. And then we come here, we say, okay, let's say we expect that taxes are going to fall, let's say 33%, then we can say 0.33 here, and then we highlight up to 2026, and then press Ctrl R, and then change these to percentages, Alt HP, Alt H0, Alt H0, just like that. We copy the formatting here, we say we use paste special, then hold down Shift, highlight up until 2026, and then press Alt H VST, right, to apply the color there. All right, so let's italize this. So highlight here and press Ctrl I, do the same here, 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 Ctrl I, right. So this is looking great so far, right? So let's build our forecast here. So here we are saying our revenue in 2020 is going to grow by 6.02%. so let's just work it out. So we are going to say equals, to start the formula bar, then we select the revenue figure for 2021, and then we multiply it by the revenue growth rate for 2022. So to do that, we are going to open a parenthesis, that is open bracket, and then say 1, we say 1 plus, and then we select this revenue growth for 2022, we close parenthesis, and then we press enter, just like that. Okay, and once we've done that, hold down Shift, use your right arrow to highlight 2023, 2024, 25, 26, and then press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. Okay, and whilst it's still highlighted, hold down Ctrl Shift and then press exclamation mark. Okay, perfect. Now this is great, right? So now that we've got our revenue figures from 2022 to 2026, which is great, let's calculate our cost of sales. So our cost of sales is dependent on the revenue figures from 2022 to 2026, so it's not a hassle to calculate this because we've got the percentages. Okay, so we've estimated our cost of sales to grow by 75.49%. so all we are going to do here, we're going to say equal sign, then we select the revenue figure for 2022, we multiply it by the cost of sales growth rate, percentage growth, and then we get our cost of sales figure. Then we hold down Shift, we select up to 2026, and then we press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. And whilst it's still highlighted, we hold down Ctrl Shift and then exclamation mark. Right, and then here we want to calculate the gross profit. So we have calculated this formula or these formulas already. So all we are going to do here is we go into F7, cell F7, and then we hold down Shift, we select up until 2026, and then we press Ctrl R to just copy the formula to the right, and then it enters the figures. And then for operating expenses, they are also dependent on revenue. So to do that, we are going to say equals, and then we select the revenue figure for 2022. We multiply it by the expense growth rate, and then we press enter. And once we have done that, we hold down shift, we highlight up until 2026, we press Ctrl R, and then once it's still highlighted, we hold down Ctrl Shift and then press exclamation mark. And then this formula for EBITDA, we have already used it before, so we go to F11. In that cell, we hold down shift, we highlight up until 2026, we press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. Then we come here for depreciation and amortization. Here we said we are going to manually enter the figure for depreciation. So let's just assume that our depreciation and amortization is gonna be, let's say, 8,050. So we expect our depreciation to grow by 80,050 throughout to 2026. So let's apply that. Let's copy to 2026. So press Ctrl R, and then once still highlighted, hold down Ctrl Shift and then exclamation mark. And then we have already already applied this formula for EBIT. So in cell F14, hold down shift, highlight up until 2026, press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. Right, now for the interest expense, we just hope that our interest expense is going to be 2010, right? Just like that. Let's also highlight up to 2026 and press Ctrl R, hold down Ctrl Shift, press and then press exclamation mark, and then let's just copy this formula to the right, and then just like that. Perfect. And then income tax. So income tax, it's easy. All we are going to do is we are going to say equals, and then we come here EBIT, and then we multiply EBIT by the tax rate, right? And then we get our taxes, and then we copy the formula to the right and hold down Ctrl Shift exclamation mark, and here we just copy the net income formula here to the right, just like that. Okay, which is fantastic. So right now we have finished building our model. Okay, so this is our income statement, our income statement model that we have built. So let's just add some customization there. So let's just add some lines there, border, not border such, but top line. So revenue, so we are going to go in row, right, in this row for gross profit, and then we hold down shift, we highlight up until 2026, and then we want to add a top a border on top of this row, right? So to do that, we're going to say Alt HB then P, just like that. Okay, and then we are also going to do that for here EBITDA, right? Hold down shift, highlight, and then Alt HB P. We are also going to do this for EBIT, right? Alt HBP. We are also going to do this for EBIT, Alt HBP, right? And finally, we are also going to put some double lines here. So Alt HBU, right, like this. Okay, So this is our complete income statement model. Okay, so let's just compare it. You see some figures have changed based on the one that I've built before. So I'm gonna just say press Control page down to just cross check. You see my interest expense figures have changed here. I've changed my interest expense figures, and I've also changed my depreciation and amortization. But these estimates, I think they are the same here and here. I've also changed this, but anyway, this is how you can build an income statement model. Okay, so let's go back. So as you can see, this is how you can build an income statement model. But one thing that we need to do is, let's say you want to let's say you want to remove these grid lines. Okay, Excel grid lines. To do that, you can press Alt W and then press VG on your keyboard, and as you can see, now our model is looking fantastic.